Hello, everyone, and welcome to another wonderful week through the Enchanted spreads. And the Enchanted spreads are meant to trigger on the harsher points of life, but through fairy tales and folklore that we can relate to. So, we're going to go ahead and get into another fairy tale this week. And we have Bluebeard. Bluebeard's all about taboos. Taboos, the forbidden, right? Okay, so Bluebird is about a beautiful maiden who meets this very charming man who owns a ship and he's a captain and he does his own thing, right? A little bit of a rebel. Now, her friends and family have a little bit of caution about him because, well, we know he doesn't seem like he's up to any good and he seems to live a fast life and they just seemed uncertain of him. So, of course, they cautioned her to not go on with him. But she, of course, like most maidens, defied that of her family and said, I shall forge my own way and I will love this man and he loves me. And when she got on board of the ship and she sailed away and she married him, he told her she could have anything she wanted. She could go into any of the rooms that she wanted except for one room in the cabin of the ship. Everywhere else was for hers. Well, she lived and she loved and she enjoyed, but the curiosity got the best of her, right? And so she went and she opened the door, and to her horror, she's seen a whole bunch of dead bodies of all of the captain's ex-wives that had all he had killed all of them. And she was so startled that she dropped the key. And when she dropped the key, it went into all of the blood that was on the floor. And she knew that there was no way that she could hide the fact that she had been in this room. And this was the one thing her husband had told her not to do. So she waited for him to get back and she hung her head low and she awaited her fate that she knew was coming to her. And of course, with rage, he was going to get rid of her, but her family and her friends came in and saved her from the horrible captain. Now, this story has so many different meanings all wrapped up inside of it that let's dive right on into what they mean. First and foremost, there was the forbidden, right? Sometimes we get tempted by the thing that we know we're not supposed to have, but we can't help it because it feels so good, right? So, like her, she knew that this wasn't the best of people to be around, but wow, he was charming. It sounded good. It was a temptation. So she went for it. But then life slaps you with that reality, and you get to see the true nature of what the consequences are of what you chose to do. And now you have to face them. Now you have to own that you made that mistake. And then you have to be big enough to go and ask for help from the very people who have tried to support you. Sometimes it's hard for us to do, right? But instead of letting our fate set to this being the end, we know that sometimes we do have to reach out to support. And we have to understand that that our people, our friends, our family, our spiritual team has the best interest out for us. And we have to trust in them that they have our best interest, even when it's something that we think we want. Sometimes we have to be still. Sometimes we have to be patient. Sometimes we have to step back and take advice from others so that we don't put ourselves into a harmful situation that could not only jeopardize our lives, but the people we care about. The story tells you to put caution into life and to not step into the forbidden things just because, but to also have a healthy bout of curiosity as long as you know that you're able to get through it. Be mindful of what you do. Be aware of your actions, that they always may have consequences, but always rely on that support system that you had because they're there with your best interest at heart. I hope that you enjoyed this fairy tale, and please make sure you stay tuned for all the great YouTube content. We'll see you next week.
What's this stuff?